Hello and welcome to another update video about Rune. Rune has corrected down even further since my last video. It had actually made the impression that it was making some kind of an impulsive move up. We were then coming down in a corrective move. I think we were around $7 or something, or $7.50 when I made the last video. And I told you that I don't think the correction down is finished yet. And that was the case. It wasn't finished yet, but it even made it lower than the beginning of that wave, so indicating that imminent impulsive move up is invalidated. So what is important, and that is what I always mention, for to be more on the safe side that an overall correction is over, is you need an impulsive move up. You want to see that in the chart, and then you want to see a corrective move down. That's basically like the last test before you can consider a correction to be complete. So we want to have 5 waves up, we want to have 3 waves down. That is typically what you see when a new trend starts. A wave 1 consisting of 5 waves to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside, where the low comes down very low to the beginning of the wave 1. That is typically what happens because it's so early in the beginning of a trend. But obviously this wave C here, or this 3-wave pattern, needs to end above the beginning of the wave. So it needs to really make a higher low, and that is what we want to see. Therefore this here is unfortunately a lower high, and therefore we have to assume that this move up was just corrective, that what is coming down here is impulsive. And also what is currently happening here looks like everything, just not impulsive. So again, it is some kind of a corrective wave which is suddenly coming up here. You can see that we are reacting to that. Basically we are back in this blue target area. This is the area that I defined for most cryptos where a reversal with the highest probability can take place, and would usually take place in such a wave 2 here, a higher degree wave 2 that you can see here, where we made the wave 1 back in May 21, and then we've been coming down here in a corrective move in a wave 2. And usually here in this area between the 88.7% FIB level and the 78.6, so between 288 and $5.10, you would expect the reversal ideally. Now I don't think this will be enough in this downtrend for Rune. I think we are going to see lower prices, especially as it has only just broken that level, especially as it's back to the 88.7% FIB level, pretty much at the same level. And given that it has, when it came down to that level, it hasn't really reacted a lot to it. It's struggling to stay in that target area. And I think if we lose that level, let's take a look at the chart. Actually, where would we expect the next larger support? So obviously we can add to the chart the VPVR, just to take a look at where will be a spike in volume, historical volume. And you can see there's pretty much a black hole here all the way down to, I would say, just above $1. So around, I think around $1.20 support will start. And I will highlight that on this chart. But that would be quite far away from that 88.7% FIB level, and that would be more than a 50% drop for Rune should we lose that 88.7% FIB level. Obviously the first support will be here at the previous low, so around 233. But then if we zoom out, we can see that very clearly historical volume is starting here at $1.20. That is where I would expect the price to get down to in such a scenario, because this is just the next logical level of support. Looking at the price action in its own, there isn't really a lot that is currently happening here. It is, again, similar to the other cryptos, very corrective. Yes, we have seen here some kind of a reaction, but it is, too many overlaps. Now we've made lower highs again, and it is looking like we're going to come down further. Now for a further move down, I'm looking really here at a breakout below 261, the previous swing low, and also below this one here at 235. I think below that it gets very likely that we first get down to $2. There will be some support because it's just a psychological level, and then probably even $1.20. That is how I can currently see it. A breakout above 382 might change things temporarily. That is the previous swing high. We need to see how this level is broken. Will it be impulsive? Will it be corrective? But for now, everything that is happening here is looking too corrective, which means that it would be followed by an impulsive move down, that we can expect further levels down and further waves down. So Really for Rune, I mean, to be confident that the overall correction is over, I mean, let's be honest, let's be very honest, I probably wouldn't even consider it until we really break here that previous major swing high. Now, then we are already at $13, I know, but therefore it is so important to take a look at any small price swings which are happening down here. As soon as we see a first impulsive wave up and a corrective wave down, we're making a higher low, we can be more certain that the low is in. Overall, by the way, for Rune, the price target for the next larger wave up, when we talk about a wave 3, yeah, so this here was a wave 1, this was a wave 2, the wave 3 would take us to at least 1.618 FIB extension, that is at $21.55 at the moment, yeah, so that's pretty much a 10x, maybe a little bit less from now, but depending on how far we drop, you would be looking at a 10x, provided the price is able to turn around and make new all-time highs, and that would be a price target for a new all-time high. No, actually, let me just double check that. That, to be honest, doesn't make sense. That was just for this move that has been invalidated. Forget about that. Let's take a look at that from scratch. I think we are going to see here much higher price targets actually. Let's just do that again. Absolutely. This would be, now we're looking at $38. Looking at $38, so that is more than a 10x from where we are. Yeah, I looked at only this wave here. Now we need to look at the overall wave 1, because this smaller wave here has been invalidated anyway as a bullish movement. So yeah, looking at $38 as a minimum target for the wave 3. Now, again, that doesn't happen in a straight line. It will take a moment until we get there anyway. And first of all, we need to complete this overall correction down there anyway. Now, looking at here the ADX on the 4-day chart, which is very meaningful. Also downtrend still at play. The RSI still very low, no recovery really. And the MACD also still pushing down. On some crypto charts, we see a recovery on the 4-day MACD beginning. Here for Rune, not yet. It's not translated over yet because we see it on the 2-day. We don't see it on the 4-day yet. And here that will be interesting on the 1-day chart. What will happen when we see here a bullish crossover on the 1-day chart? Because at the moment the price isn't doing much. So will that react bullish, or before we see actually that bullish breakout, will we actually see a turn down in the price? That is something that will be very interesting to see. Primarily, however, I would expect a move down. And you know, this would also be in line with what I say for other cryptos. Also, it would be in line with what I would expect here for Rune in terms of the Elliott wave count, because similar to other cryptos, I would see this spike to the downside here as a wave 3. I would see the wave 4 here finished in some kind of a triangle pattern. The next wave would be wave 5 to the downside, and it would be breaking. I mean, already when you break out here pretty much below 280, you will see probably some movement down. We're currently holding just above it, but then here 260 also very important, and then that $2 and $2.35 level. Yeah, those will all be confirmations that it's going to go down further, and only above 382 temporary upside is possible, all the way up to $5.10. Let's take a final look here maybe at the EMA ribbon. You can see how this is providing resistance on the 4-hour chart. So, you know, we are not even trying to get through it at the moment. That is how little bullish movement there is at the moment. Let me hide that EMA ribbon again. And yeah, overall also what you can do here, you can draw a trend line in kind of a triangle shape. Yeah, so we are getting here into the apex of a triangle. And again, there are different ways of drawing it. But again, that would also be in line with my expectation. A bearish pennant, you're coming down very impulsively. You're now consolidating here in some kind of way. You can draw that in different ways, but I think here using the wicks would give you some kind of a symmetrical triangle. Bearish pennant, also this would probably break to the downside, using just sort of the height of the triangle as a estimate for a price target. Let's do that, and let's add it to a breakout point, and that would take us really very closely to that $1.20 level that I did mention. Should we break to the upside, which can happen, of course, you know, we always need to wait for signals, then this would take us to 425 in one move. But yeah, that is currently what I'm looking at for Rune. So in a nutshell, I don't think the correction is over yet. We still expect lower prices at the moment. The downward pressure is just too high at the moment. Today is quite a quiet day in the crypto market. but I think tomorrow we can again expect some movement, especially as we can currently see on various crypto charts, volume decline again, usually on a weekend, but then really you can also draw a trend line here on the volume indicator down here. And typically when you do that, you get into an apex, then the next move will be quite a significant move up, yeah, in terms of volume. And yeah, that could, for example, happen tomorrow. We've seen in the last few weeks towards the weekly candle close, there has always been some significant movement. Yeah, that's my view about Rune. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.